Once again, everyone, this is CCP Fozzie, joined by Shadu, and this is DarkSide versus the R0NIN, our second last match of this second last day of the 11th Alliance tournament. And we've got some really, really cool setups here. What do you think about these, Shadu?
This is going to be exciting. R0NIN choosing to bring the exact same setup early on in the day. They beat triple dummy setup. And DarkSide bringing triple dummies.
So this is actually, in a lot of ways, a similar setup to what we saw R0NIN beat, except it's armor instead of shield. The Legion is going to be the repper here for this Tinker team. The Dominics are going to cab transfer too, and probably with the Damnation as well. They don't have a full 12 pilots. They've only got, what is that, like 10 there? And R0NIN, this is a team that can apply a ton of damage very quickly. They've all come in at 0 except for the Basilisk, who went in at about 30 at an off angle, and they're moving in now very, very quickly.
And match is underway with the Basilisk being target baited on the R0NIN side by DarkSide. It should be taking damage here very shortly as the Dominics has dropped their drones and get on that Basilisk. Importantly, DarkSide has brought tracking disruptors. Both of those Sleipnirs are tracking disrupted, with this Basilisk starting to take massive damage on the R0NIN side. With DarkSide, of course, still not taking any damage whatsoever, but they're not going anywhere fast since they're in a Tinker that, by design, doesn't move.
So the Basilisk here is actually moving in close. He's trying to get in closer to these Dominics. He's trying to get under the tracking of the Curators.
Ah, of course, of course. That is a pretty good tactic.
And it's working well so far. I mean, he's not dead yet. He's actually only taking glancing blows. He's coming in at an angle. He's doing excellent transversal management right now for the Basilisk here for the R0NIN. He's taking chunks, but he is repping them back quite easily. However, his ASB is not going to last forever, so they have to kill something fast.
Absolutely. The R0NIN side is, of course, here massively tracking disrupted, which is starting to show because this vengeance that they primed is hardly being praised at all. The Legion has no trouble whatsoever keeping in fully repped.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it looks like they've switched primaries away from the Bassi because he's not really taking any damage at all. Looks like they're switching to, well, no, they still have the target painter on the Bassi. Oh, yeah, it's still taking some, but just barely ever so glancing blows. We still have, now we switch to guards, so here we go. The DarkSide team has brought their Curators in, switched to guard 2s, and those are going to be able to apply their damage a lot better to the Basilisk.
That's right, and more importantly, the Basilisk is now forced into a heavy neut range of these dummies. Each of these dummies, of course, have a heavy neutralizer or 2 in their highs. Having said that, the first Dominics on Pandy on the DarkSide side is starting to take damage, but as an armor tank, it is not doing too.
It's going to be very hard to break through this Dominics. I have to wonder if it might be a better choice to try to break this Legion. They don't really have any newts, though. That's going to be really, really, really hard. The cap transfer on these teams means that they can keep repping forever as long as they've got cap boosters in these big dummy holds.
And of course, this Basilisk being now forced so close that it is being neutralized here by the Dominics. The question is, how long will he be able to rep this Sleipnir? The Sleipnir so far is hanging in there without any issues, but if this Basilisk gets neuted out, it's going to be in trouble. The first Malediction on the DarkSide team is now taking damage, but he's tanking just fine. Once those reps swap over from the Legion over to the Malediction, it is able to catch up, no problem whatsoever. What the R0NIN has to start doing here is alternating between this Malediction and this Punisher. The Punisher probably is slightly easier target to kill than this Malediction, but they need to catch this this Legion off guard, and they really need to quickly swap between the two and break something, then perhaps just kite away.
Yeah. I mean, this Legion, there's a very good chance he's got at least almost this entire team locked up. However, it's weird that we're seeing the R0NIN damps applied to an Ishkur and the Malediction there. It'd be much better to have those as the scan res damps, put him on the Legion, switch targets, and hope that he doesn't have one of the frigates locked.
Of course, in a Tinker team, usually in a Legion such as this, you do have every frigate pre-locked, but by alternating between a Dominics and some of the frigates, you can still catch that Legion off guard, just like you said. You need to strip the shields of every single one of these frigates, and then you have to start alternating between every one of them and try to catch this Legion out. It really comes down to now the skill of this Legion pilot, Otters Meza, who we have seen and is tournament veteran. So far, not a whole lot damage being applied on either side, but if
So-
this match goes to tie-dye...
The R0NIN is shooting drones.
Ah.
The R0NIN Harpies and Hawks are shooting drones, clear them off the field for DarkSide. They're going for the very long game here.
That's
DarkSide is
right.
pulling them in, dropping them out again, pulling them in, dropping them out, but they're going to keep slowly losing sentry drones here. And if it does end up going to tie-dye, that's going to be very important.
But the first Moa now on the R0NIN side taking massive damage. Got to about a half shields or so, but now the Basilisk has caught up. So far, even though the Basilisk has been under cap pressure throughout this match pretty much, it is not showing any signs of running dry.
It's still within Newt range here. It's pulling away a little bit, but I'm surprised it hasn't managed to get out of Newt range yet.
Well, maybe he has to keep that tight orbit while the guards are still out, and perhaps that is why they are shooting those guards.
Yep.
Once they get the guards out,
Right
that
now,
forces
there's only
DarkSide to
one
drop
sentry
Curators.
drone on the field. Now there's some more out. There's Curators again.
Curators.
Yep.
So now with the Curators, the Basilisk can once again pull back and take a wider orbit, get out of the Newt range. Then again, we don't know how the Basilisk is fitted, and he could be completely fine with that cap pressure applied to it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, he's still wrapping through this the entire time. Quite hilariously, Princess Cormay in the Hawk for R0NIN, who is remote sensor boosting, I have to assume, or remote ECCMing the Basilisk of Morgul, is also shooting Morgul. He put his guns on the wrong target and has been firing missiles at his own logistics ship.
Oops.
Obviously not doing enough damage for it to be a huge problem. And actually, now we've got the Basilisk now out of range of the newts. He's no longer being neuted. So that's, I think, going to really help him not have to burn through those cap charges.
That's right. R0NIN are sitting in quite a comfortable position here. Perhaps the decision that they made here is to simply go to the tie-dye fight, because they know in tie-dye the chances of alternating between these frigates fast enough is favors R0NIN much more so than DarkSide.
Yes.
And the Malediction now, as you see, they caught that
yeah.
Legion out, and he almost dipped to structure, but the Legion caught reps just in time. But once we're in 2.5, 3.5, 5 times tie-dye, he is not going to be able to keep up. DarkSide really has to kill a frigate here. Merlin, Hawk, whatever. And as we see it, Merlin gets target painted and will be taking damage here.
We'll have to see if they can track it, though. They, at the moment, don't have any sentries out, so they're probably going to drop sentries, then immediately try to shoot the Merlin, and then pull them back in before they die. It's going to be a little bit of a race for they can do it. I'll let you know if I see them drop out. We've got one guard, 2 just got dropped, and then pulled back in immediately. They're, I think, trying to bait some of the locks onto these and keep them busy. But at the moment, there's, no
And once
drones.
again, one Ishgur's on DarkSide's side taking heavy damage, because
There
that
goes some-
Malediction is getting repped at the same time.
Oh, man. Very notably, none of these guys are bleeding structure yet. If they were bleeding structure, then if this kept up, they'd slowly go down, because these guys don't have any reps that rep structure, because they're just generally not very good. But they are keeping them in armor. They're making sure that they never bleed anything to structure, and that's what they need to do for these long fights.
Of course, another option that R0NIN still has up their sleeve is to work just like the other teams we've seen today, and actually go for a bump on a dummy. Dummy is not hard one to miss with the Sleipnir, and they have the option to start bumping these Dominics, and Dominics is forcing this Legion to pay attention to ranges while keeping these frigates repped. This is looking so far pretty good for R0NIN.
Yeah, I mean, DarkSide just actually cleared off all of the damage drones for R0NIN with a really good set of timed smart bomb bursts. So they smart bombed the drones off. There was a whole cloud of damage drones, and unlike the Dominixes, these Sleipnirs and Moas don't have extra drones.
That's
So
true.
that's a lot of damage, or like a small percentage of the damage, but still very notable, especially if we end up going to these razor-thin margins off the field for R0NIN. That's DarkSide once again thinking pretty smart. These guys are really playing for the long game. I think they're at this point all just counting on going to tie-dye mode, because I know DarkSide still has drones. They've been pulling them out, putting them in, and they just haven't pulled them out again for a while. They've just decided not to try to shoot anything with those drones yet.
Of course, in the event that this does go to reverse tie-dye, and we still cannot find a winner, the R0NIN is by default the winner here, because
Because they have
their
more
attack bar is much greater than DarkSide's.
Yep, it's a rule that we didn't really expect to come into play very often, but we needed a way to settle matches that can't be settled any other way. Oh, that Malediction.
Oh,
and the
Malediction!
structure,
He's
and
gone! He's
No!
gone!
DarkSide now up by 3 points. 1 minute left in now, DarkSide. The R0NIN up by 3 points. 1 minute left. DarkSide needs to kill something fast. They have 1 minute to get at least 3 points. Anything they kill on this team other than the Merlin will do it. So if they kill the Merlin and nothing else, then they'll still lose. If they kill literally anything else, then they'll win.
That's right. Just as we predicted, R0NIN played this beautifully. They started hitting every single one of these frigates and forcing the DarkSide Legion to keep alternating reps. They got that malediction on a off cycle of the Legion and just managed to power through his armor and structure, and that is probably, with 30 seconds left, that is the match done. Over it, it comes down to a single frigate kill.
A single frigate kill. I think I might have been wrong about DarkSide still having drones left, because they haven't put out any more drones now. And if you're going to put them out, you have to be putting them out now.
Now's the time to put them out.
But they haven't.
You have to take that Merlin down. The Merlin is now painted and neutered, but with no
the Merlin
drones
isn't
left.
enough anyways. It's only 2 points. Yeah.
True. That is true. It wouldn't be even enough.
So that is going to be a extremely tight win for the R0NIN, playing the long game, killing drones, going for the grinding victory, and now they have eliminated DarkSide from this Alliance tournament. And
What
they
a
will
match.
be fighting again tomorrow against the winner of our next match, Agony and Pandemic Legion. So we're going to send you now back to Sound of the Studio and then be right back for Agony versus PL.